Hi, this is our ERMA 7306 final project. I'm Katie, and Tracy and Sherry are also here with me to present. Our research question for our final project is, what is the effect of socioeconomic status versus race on student grade point average, or GPA? So we chose this because achievement gaps are something that have long existed in education, and there's lots of research that we could look up and find. So looking at the racial achievement gap, children enter school with varying levels of academic skills, and these differences often correspond with race and ethnicity. The black-white achievement gap in the American education system persists despite decades-long efforts to close it. And in regards to the socioeconomic achievement gap, living in poverty during early childhood is associated with lower than average academic performance that begins in kindergarten and extends through high school, leading to lower than average rates of school completion. And students that are economically disadvantaged often do not have access to the same quality of resources as compared to their higher income peers. High income families not only have more income than low income, but also have access to a range of other family and social resources. So all of the research pretty much said the same thing, that the achievement gap for race and socioeconomic status exists.
Okay, and our methods. Our research question, as Katie stated, was, what is the effect of SES versus race on student grade point averages? And our hypothesis, our null hypothesis, was that student GPA is not affected by any of them. They're all equal. And the alternative hypothesis is that at least one of them is different. Our data source was the Educational Longitudinal Study of 2002. Our analysis, we had two independent variables, SES and race. Within SES, it had 4 levels, and then there were 7 levels of race. The dependent variable was the grade point average, and we chose a statistical test of a two-way independent ANOVA because we do have 2 independent variables, and we have more than 3 levels for each. So we need a between subjects comparison. Okay, our results for the test of in-between subjects was that their interaction was significant between socioeconomic status and race. There was also significant effects of socioeconomic status on GPA, and there were significant effects of race on GPA.
Our homogeneous subsets of socioeconomic status shows, the table at the top shows that each mean is different in each quartile of socioeconomic status.
So our homogeneous subset, according to race, all of the means here, as you can see, are different as well.
Okay, and when we split the sample to our post hoc, we see the small effect size for all 4 lowest quartile, second quartile, third quartile, and highest quartile, which were also all significant. The graph we see is pretty typical of what we know as educators. The lowest quartile has the lowest GPAs between all the races. The second quartile is second highest GPA almost all the way through. The third highest, and the highest quartile has the highest GPAs. And you can see the rise that an Asian, Hawaii, Pacific Islander, non-Hispanic, has a little spike above all the other races.
So this study examined the impact race has on students' GPA versus the impact of socioeconomic status. The results of the two-way independent ANOVA support the hypothesis as indicated in the statistical analysis. There is a significant interaction effect for socioeconomic status and race, a significant main effect for socioeconomic status, and a significant main effect for race. Students from families with higher quartiles of socioeconomic status earned higher GPAs than students from lower socioeconomic quartiles.
The test of between subject effects indicated a medium effect size by SES on GPA, a small effect size by race on GPA, and a negligible effect size by the interaction on GPA. So therefore, all of the comparison data for SES were significant as well. And it also indicated that each quartile of the socioeconomic status is significantly different from the others. The post hoc of the SES also indicated that all of the quartiles of SES were significant or had a significant impact on GPA.
When looking at the homogeneous subsets, we're able to see that the GPA means within the quartiles are all significantly different from the others. The data from the races indicated that the lowest GAPs were from the American Indian race, the Black or African American race, and the Hispanic, no race specified respectively. The middle GPAs were from Hispanic race specified in more than one race, non-Hispanic respectively. And the highest GPAs were from the white non-Hispanic and from the Asian, Hawaii, Pacific Islanders, non-Hispanic respectively.
When the data was split using the Levine's test of equality of error variances, it indicated a significance for the third quartile of SES and the highest quartile. So the test between the subjects' effects indicated that there was a significant effect on every quartile of socioeconomic status, with race having the most effect on GPA only in the lowest and second quartiles. And then lastly, the effect size on the third quartile and the highest quartiles of SES were both small effect sizes. When we further broke down the data by splitting the samples by SES, that the lowest quartile of SES indicated that Black or African American, non-Hispanic, and American Indian, Alaska Native, non-Hispanic students had the lowest GPA. Hispanic, no race specified, Hispanic race specified, and more than one race, non-Hispanic had the mid-range GPA. The white non-Hispanic and Asian population, non-Hispanic, had the highest GPAs of all. It was similar throughout the quartiles of socioeconomic status, especially with the lowest and highest GPAs. So in conclusion, one of the most consistent messages that we see here from the achievement gap literature and then also from our investigation is that socioeconomic status has an impact on student achievement. The findings were significant from the investigation, and they also coincide and then strongly solidify the notion that schools that Katie and Tracy and I serve in, we have very little chances of improving unless we address the disparities that are associated with SES and race. So as indicated by the data that we just mentioned here, African American, Hispanic, and Indian students of low SES are at a disadvantage, and as a result, they are at risk for poor achievement as compared to whites and Asians. So what does this mean for us as administrators and teachers? We are ethically responsible for ensuring that our students have priority when it comes to providing a equitable learning environment. So we should ensure and advocate for those educational policies and the cultural pedagogy that is needed, and provide those interventions and prevention methods to ensure that all of our students are successful. So this is the conclusion of our study, and thank you.
Thank you.